Hey Zod, how you doing? I have to look down all the time, so I may not see any messages in a timely manner. How you been doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Working on your comic at the same time, hiding from the virus. Understood. This is a commission for Tavastri, and I promised him a traditional instead of digital, and man, it's hard. Hard to go back to traditional. Some things I like about it though. Oh, thank you. I'm struggling with it, but just like everything, I usually struggle in the beginning and then it gets massaged until it's not so bad. I did a practice one, like something totally different. And I really liked, you know, here. And I'm like, okay, let's see if I can try to get that kind of feel, but a little different pose. Yes, I am more focused. I have to be. That's good though, you know. Couple things. I before digital, I hate using eraser. Like I felt like I was never a good artist unless I could get through the project without using an eraser. Start very light and just slowly work up darker, darker, darker. But now I'm like, crap, forget that. I have to use eraser. And this blue doesn't erase all that well. So there's going to be some blue in the final. It should sort of disappear, I think. Or I'll figure a way to make it hide. But I love drawing in blue too. I don't know why. Just neat to see. So this is my version of a Jabberwocky. There's no real physical description of a Jabberwocky. I think the poem only has claws to grab and teeth to bite, and that's about it. So past artists have sort of made it dragon-like or just sort of goofy. And I said, you know what, I'm going to do a kind of a hybrid thing. So it's kind of like a alligator back end, maybe a little bit of rat or snake, a little bit of wings for a dragon. Front head is whatever. I don't know if that classifies as a dragon or just something else. And then the claws for grabbing are going to be more bird claws. And I really like that idea, doing the bird claws for claws of grabbing, but then I found other artists that did the same thing. So I was like, crap, thought I had a thought I had an original thought there, but I didn't. But this is what I'm going moving forward with it. In a nutshell, oh spiel. So you're doing a comic now. What's your comic on? I don't think you were doing a comic last time I saw you, right? Got my fingernails. Got a lot of these. Those are long ass nails for me. Where in the realms? Hello, how are you doing? It is my version of a Jabberwocky. It's a commission for Tavastri, who's my only main sub. He's been subbing with me for over a year, so I figured it was time I gave him something back. So he picked the subject, the Jabberwock. This is like my take on it. Of a hybrid animal, mythical creature. Back end of a alligator, so that's why I'm kind of working on the scales right now. Trying to take it nice and slow because I'm not quite sure how I want to render a bunch of things. I usually draw digital, so I'm going back to traditionals. Take some concentration. So is the Jabberwock, I mean, clearly it must be used in Pathfinder. I think they used it as a cover art once, right? I did see that when I was doing my research. Yeah, in regards to the alligator, if I read the poem correctly, it only really says it slithers through the forest with claws to grab and teeth to bite. And that's it. That's its whole physical description. And most of the versions of the Jabberwock are based off, I don't know his name, but there's an artist that did one, years and years and years ago. So they're kind of deviations from that. But then I figured, the one thing I wanted to keep was the long neck. And then I was just thinking, slithering through, why not an alligator backhand? So it's sort of like an alligator body. I'm going to have chicken or raptor. It's really kind of chicken based feet because of the way their hands grab. And I thought this was an original idea, but it's not. Other artists have done the same thing. So basically, claws to grab, some teeth to bite, and the rest of it's just slithering around. And then wings for good measure, even though he doesn't fly. Where in the realms? Thank you for that follow. Welcome aboard. My little. Here's my. Alerts is buried, so it doesn't show up. That's above the camera. It'll show up next time. But thank you for that follow. Where in the realms? Do you play Dungeons and Dragons? Or obviously you play Pathfinder because you know Pathfinder, right? What's up, Zod? Zod is back. Clockpunk steampunk world of Arrowfell. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I started years and years ago with the basic box set and advanced D&D. I skipped 2E altogether. I read up, I had all the books for 3.5, but I wasn't playing. I just loved to read it. And then I'm finally playing again. Skipped 4E completely, like completely. And then I'm back with 5E with a group on Tuesday nights. We play on Twitch. That's it. I'll be curious to see what Pathfinder 2 has done. Yeah, a lot of people say that about 4E. That's why there's a 5E, right? Yeah, every Tuesday we play California time. It's, what time is it? 5 to 9 California time. There's a guy on Twitch, AP Gaming Real. He DMs for us. I think I'm -7 with London, I believe. So what time does it end up being for you? I'm a 7 hour lag, right? So it's right as you're sleeping. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 4 a.m. in that area. Yeah. I don't know. Our shows are so riveting, you'll want to wake up. Our shows tend to be not as action packed filled, but there's some good role players. Not me, I'm just a brick. But the other guys, they're pretty fun. One guy, Mick, he's just fantastic. having fun. And AP's really good at game mastering too. He's super knowledgeable. $9.38. Right? Yeah. 1, 2, 7. Oh, you're -8. The other way. Yeah, I think because I grew up, or at least my old gaming style with my crew was pretty much dungeon crawlers. I mean, that's pretty much all we did. We didn't do very much role playing at all, and so I'm not very strong at the role playing. I make voices while I'm driving in the car, but then I don't do them when I'm playing the game. But it looks like it'd be fun. I just like, I don't mind the role playing, and I don't mind the lore, and I don't mind the social interaction. All that's pretty good. I just don't like when we have to do social interacting with the evil bad guys. So we should be fighting the bad guys, not trying to assess their feelings. So I like a nice, clear delineation between good, gray, and bad. Voices in the car, stopping at traffic lights, get some weird looks. Yeah. Yeah, see? I would agree with that. But I'm going to be doing this year, I hope. I mean, I'm already lost a couple months, but I'm going to be doing some basic adventures. Like in my mind, it's easy just to plan this. So 3 adventures, and then each adventure would be levels 1 and 2, then 3 and 4, then 5 and 6. And start off with a town adventure that's heavy on the social action. The travel, that'd be part 1. Part 2 would be travel, that's heavier on the exploration, and then the third one would be heavier on the dungeon crawl and combat. And of course, there'd be combat in all of them, and adventure in all of them, and all that kind of stuff. But just kind of have that focus so that when you go through these 3 campaigns, you sort of train or introduce the 3 main elements to new players. I don't know, in my head, it sounds pretty cool. See how that goes. On my Instagram, I have a couple map elements for my world building, because when I'm done with this commission, I'm going to go back to the world building stuff that I was doing before this. And then I've got World Anvil. Aha, I just beat you to it. So, and then I've got World Anvil. Then I'm going to write down all the lore and stuff. I don't know if I'll make it public or not, but you know, so I got a lot to do. There's so much work to do that stuff. But it'll be cool. That's my plan. Oh, cool, cool. I'll take a look at your maps too. I was mapping with what's this? Wonderdraft, which was a lot of fun, but for some reason Wonderdraft and OBS hate each other. I don't know which one is the problem, but they clog each other up. So I've been drawing the map assets in Clip Studio Paint, but from scratch, which, you know, it's going to take me even longer now. But that's all right. I like to draw. That's my main push anyway, so I might as well draw all these elements. I'm like, yeah, maybe that's meant to be. It can have 3 toes, not two. 3 toes and a thumb, kind of. Try they spread out. What's the dotted? So A5 dotted journal. What's the dotted? Yeah, you know what? I love digital. I love traditional, and probably what will happen is as I get better, um, traditional. No, as I get better doing digital, I'll probably go back and do traditional much more often. I like digital. Okay, I'm gonna give you a tour of my art. Not that you asked for it, but let me open an app and I'll show you what I do and why I like. Oh, okay, so it's a grid. Gotcha, gotcha. Set up for. Zod, you're being sarcastic now, man. But I will be a master map maker. Working on it. Where'd my art go? There's art. Nice, good. The art card. This monster is pretty recent. Got the clip. Zod, if you want to draw maps, I would recommend Wonder Draft. I just wouldn't recommend it doing it live on Twitch, but as a program, a lot of fun. Please share. I'm not set up to do this now. I'll be here. Hold on. Gotta hide that. Let's make sure audio's working. Yeah. And let me check my sources. Add. Window capture. Grab the window. Rust monster. There we go. That over there. Right, little crude, but that's all right. You can certainly shamelessly self promote. I don't care. If you got something to say, go for it. Yeah, this is my version of the Rust Monster again. I did some changes. He's more articulated. I don't know if that's the right word. Yeah, I think that is more articulated than you might see somewhere else. Wolfenstein. Thanks everyone. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is my my Rust monster. But here comes the tour of what I do. I call myself a composite, digital composite artist because I sort of think of the images similar to the way 3D renderings work. So first I gotta hide everything, and then I will go through the tour of how I got to where it is. And a lot of this is not so different than other digital artists. So that's not it. Not it. Oh, I don't have my roughs. Well, on this particular image, what I did was just sketch everything in blue, even though it's in pencil now because I saved it out. It was in this blue. So I had created this blue line art first, and then once I was happy with this sketch, I don't know how many layers. It's, I will count them. I start off with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so my file has about 20 layers preset because I've made some templates that have all the layers preset. And I use about half of them. I usually don't use all of them, so there's a lot of layers that aren't being used. But so I did my blue line pencils here. I was going to do a pencil layer, like an actual pencil layer that was tighter, but I'm like, nah, what for? I've got the blue lines. And then my next step is I do borders, which is part of my inking process, but the way Clip Studio Paint works is that I can actually use this as my selections later on. So it's sort of a shortcut for later. Then I put the real inking on top of that. Get rid of the sketch layer. And then I'm trying to get to the point where my inking looks more finished and complete. So I was happy with this one. It felt pretty complete. And then I go, I add the forms. So this forms layers is something that's a little bit different, and I'm not saying it's good necessarily but I love doing it anyway. So it adds a little bit of dimensionality to everything, but I try to keep it a little more subtle because I don't want it to be a light source, even though it is a light source. I don't really want it to be a light source. I want it to be sort of a dimensional influence. Yeah, I try to make it look a little bit more like 3D, even though my art style is, I think, kind of cartoony. So it's not really going to look 3D when all is said and done. So anyway, let's see. Did I do any ink wash on this one? I did. Okay, so there's my flat colors, and it's a hard light layer with that form underneath. So there's flats by itself, and then by the time they multiply with the underneath aspect, that's what I get. I'm going to hide those. Sometimes I do just a pure ink wash. So my ink wash is really weak on this image, to be honest, but it's there. And for this image, I'm not sure. There might have been some more shadows. Let me see. Okay. I'll catch up with chat as soon as I get past these last layers. So yeah, I darken the shadows, darken the highlights. I don't think I did any rim lighting. I don't think I did a specular. I did do a little specular highlights. They're pretty crude. And then, I get to that point and I'm like, okay, done. Oh, let me show you. Let me catch up all of chat first here. What's my Yeah, so about the selections, if you see online, a lot of people will use their flats as their selections, and I certainly could do that. But Clip Studio Paint has an option where you can ink, and it's a vector layer, so it remembers the path. So it saves me some time because I don't have to worry too much about the flats being perfect. I can actually not lose time by drawing out flats and then keep going with the inking, and it saves me a little bit of time there. So it's a pretty handy function. I wouldn't be able to do it in any other program. So try and take advantage of what Clip Studio Paint can let me do. Yeah, I think it's I really try to do an illustrative feel. I think it's my coloring that pushes it into more of a cartoony feel, and I'm still working on that. I think the coloring is I mean, I'm happy with the colors, and I think the images look good, but they don't get painterly like I want. So ultimately, when I can get more painterly, I'll be in the right area. Ink wash. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I'll show you another ink wash. My favorite one that I've done. Yeah, so this is the ink wash that is my favorite so far because I wanted it to be, you know, kind of chunky, not refined. A typical piece takes me 10 to 20 hours. I'm getting pretty good at doing things in about 10 hours. When I first started last year, it was easily 20 hours. Well, I should say it was 20 hours to do a full page image. Open up another one. And if you want me to go back, just say so. But I had done this. I had done this commission last year, and this was 20 plus hours. So an image like that will take me a while. Just a figure is like half that time. Gorgeous. Yeah, I love ink wash. I mean, I just do. And when I see other artists on Instagram, you know, when they do their beautiful inks and the ink wash with it, it's like, it's awesome. So this guy was a challenge just because there's so many details, like the armor and the clothing and the scrolls and everything else. But had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun. There's a clock here, special belt, you know, leather armor. Yeah, lots of details. I can't say I did the wolf justice. He's looking a little puppyish, but oh well. Thank you. I've drawn off and on forever, but I've only been practicing seriously for the last 2 or 3 years, off and on, and then I've only been really serious this past year. But you know, you keep plugging away, right? The journey never ends. But thank you very much. I'm trying to get to where I want to be. I'm going to open up a couple of Instagrams of the artists that I follow. Show you where I want to be. I can get there. Give me just another second. Go back to this guy though. Oh, yeah, I like the wrench. So I could open up all my files, but honestly, I don't know if it's better or not. I will if you want me to. No problem. I'd be excited to. Or you can take a look at the Instagram because I've got everything I've ever done on Instagram. It's posted up there. I'm gonna do. Show you. Switch this window grab for a sec. So these are one of the artists that I really enjoy seeing his work. What's his name? Mark Nelson. I just love how he does so much texture line work. So eventually, I'd like my work to have this feel, and this is for that Jabberwocky. This is kind of what I'm shooting for, something along these lines. So we'll see. Head back. Yeah, I'm not, I don't like so much 90-degree hatching. I really love contour hatching, which I absolutely suck at. But, you know, Mark, in my mind, he does the cross hatching more to create more texture. Yeah, I like, okay, see, there's another artist that I've liked a lot. I'm drawing a blank. He's new. Look at his brush. Sorry, I'm trying to find another artist. One more. I think Craig's been putting amazing stuff. Yeah, so this is a new guy I'm following. But I just, I love what he's done here. So find it. So that's some wonderful ink. Another guy I really want to show. Drawing a blank on what his name is. Yeah, there's so many good artists out there. What's this guy's name? He might be my top favorite right now, and I can't think of his name. And I'm stubborn. I have to find this ink. This it is. This guy's stuff is amazing. That's a work in progress, but just, all the line work and texture and stuff, that's just phenomenal. So anyway, yeah, I'm in love with pen and ink. Just a few lines, but because he changed the direction of the stroke and everything is clear. It's awesome. Awesome stuff. Right? Yeah, look at that. when I'm not drawing, I kind of look at these guys' stuff and try to figure out how I can get from where I'm at to where they're at. All right, that's enough of that. That's the nickel tour. Thank you for your patience. We catch up now. Talked about that. I'll come back to the question of what made me take it so serious after I catch up on chat. Skull status gets so much personality. Go through my Instagram. Okay. Yep. Oh, wow. Not a lot of words there. That got me. No, I would love to take a look at your stuff here. In fact, I'm going to go to Instagram, make sure I follow you before I forget. So, what made me take it more seriously? Well, I'm going to be 54 this year. I don't want to be just laboring for the rest of my life. And I've been putting off art pretty much forever because raising my family, taking care of everyone, all that kind of stuff. I didn't want to lose the job that I had. And nowadays, I deliver pizza at night so that I can work and draw during the day. And it's going to be my retirement career. So this is the career that I want to do till the end of my days. And so that's why I started getting more serious about it. Because I knew if I didn't get serious now, I knew it'd take me probably 5 years before my art is marketable. So I need to get started. So I'm on year 3 of my practicing stage. So hopefully in the next couple of years things will get serious. I'm gonna try. That's my goal anyway. I knew drawing, it was always my plan to make it my retirement career. Because why not? I just hope I didn't wait too long. Oh, that's right. Need to go to Instagram. Ooh, yeah, that looks fun. So I'm looking at your maps real quick. I'm doing a quick scroll of your IG. You know, that's a neat idea using it on the dot paper. Well, see, this is a thing too. When I got into, uh, I love Wonderdraft. I mean, it's a wonderful program, but I want to draw everything by hand. And I follow this fellow called Bodie who draws maps and D&D stuff and all kinds of stuff by hand. And he has a very unique illustrative style that's it's like fantastic. And so I watch him. Yeah, let me find him so I get it exact. Where are you? So he's on Instagram and he's on Twitch. Yeah, so that's his Instagram. So it's Bodieh. Oh, you do know him. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so he was a little bit of an inspiration for me because he's cranking out this stuff so quickly, and his art styles, he's developed an art style that he can just boom, put something together in an hour or 2 or 3 or whatever it takes, but really quickly. And so it's totally identifiable. But I looked at his stuff. I'm like, yeah, you know what? His stuff looks fun. I still want to be more of an illustrative, more of a realistic illustrative or pen and ink illustrative. I don't know what I would classify it as, but his stuff was inspirational to me too. I lost my train of thought where I was going with that one. Oh yeah, so it's back to, I realized I want to draw my maps by hand. I don't want too much automation. I don't mind using an image hose as long as it uses mountains that I've drawn. But yeah, these are really nice maps. Ooh, that one's really... What'd you name this one? I'm looking at the Goblin Shrine of Rajikistan. Rajikistan. That's pretty awesome. Let's change the window. Since we're talking about your stuff, let's show your stuff. Yeah, so this is kind of what I want is as part of my 3 quests. You know, there's going to be some black and white maps for the inside Dungeon Master, and then there's going to be some color maps. Maybe I'll have some color tiles or something, but there might be something that the players can put together as they explore further into the dungeon. I'm not quite sure yet. It's just an idea. There might be sheets of 8.5 by 11 or 5 by 5 or whatever, and every time they go to a new room, they have to tile it out a little bit. No, come on. This stuff looks awesome. This stuff looks awesome. I think map making, honestly, is its own specialty. It's its own skill. Yeah, these are cool. I like all the details here. Got the fire. Those are beds, I'm assuming, right? Yeah, these are cool. Dwarf Cave. Ooh, you colored it too. Man, look at all that debris. Wow. Spider webs as a hole in the floor, I guess. That's pretty awesome. Stairs going up or down. Is this a hidden tunnel? That's cool. Secret tunnel. I know I'm just jabbering and you're talking too, but I want to see this stuff. Catch up in a minute. You got Where in the Realms presents the mini mapping how-to. Oh, nice. Excellent tutorial. Nice. Cool, cool. Yeah, sure. We can talk about maps when I get into it. I only know my first one's going to be a city or a town. It's not going to be that big. It's too far, too far away for me to even know what I'm going to be doing. Because I literally have only developed like the general concepts, and that's what I told you about. I think I told you, or I told someone earlier. The first adventure will be a town-based, second adventure, exploration, third adventure will be more dungeon crawl. Fort Aragon, the ruins of the long haunted fort from a past war against the crystalline creatures. Oh, cool. Ah, come on. Thank you. Thank you for spending your valuable time and checking out my artwork and listening to me babble. And this is cool. I love seeing the maps. Contemplating there. Okay. Go back to... Actually, I guess I'll close this down. Oh, I have to change scenes. Here we go. It's a big town. That's probably more of a city, right? Maybe it's still considered a town. That's huge. So I was gonna... Two to 3 weeks. Ah, that's a lot of dedication for a map. You know what? Dedication is what makes the difference between just, you know, a hobby thing and something that's like crafted. It's all fun. Whether you're world building or drawing creatures or whatever. Now, you know, you always have the option of world building, but then supplementing it with like someone like Bodhi's creature cards or something like that. But if you're like me, yeah, I love to draw everything. I prefer to draw everything myself. It forces me to practice everything. I'm gonna redraw these feet because look at chicken feet. I realize I'm very different. I had in my mind. Right now I'm just doing like a squiggly contour drawing so I can kind of feel the shape before I actually try to draw it. Yeah, that's okay. My checking out my website. Yeah, my website's a little bit outdated because it was when I made that Planet Chaos website, I was going to go in a totally different direction. So I just haven't gotten around to making the website correct again. One more project this year. Ah, thanks for the offering of the web help. Yeah, the graphic design and web design, that was my career path too. I had a lot of fun with that for a while. These look much better. Yeah, that's why I've kind of got burned out of the web stuff because um, as a web designer and you know, about 12 of my clients were hosting websites on the server that I was leasing, and between doing all the work and really doing all the tech support just burned me out. So that's why I haven't even redone my new website. I got a tool, it's Oxygen. So it's a website building tool. Not the most intuitive, but it's still pretty cool to use. And it works. It goes around the themes, so I'm not theme dependent. But so I've been using that. And my new website's going to be the same design as I have on Plant Chaos. It's just going to be Rob Shep art instead. But all the store stuff, that's all going away. How am I with drawing machines and Clockpunk? Probably not very good. Because all of my drawings are character drawings or freehand without tools and stuff. So I'm not even sure how good I would be able to do um, mechanical devices. I don't even think any of my past art, if I've got anything that even resembles a mechanical device. Let me look. Now the reality is, you know what, you have reference and you draw and you'll be okay, at your skill level, whatever your skill level is. So I should be able to draw something halfway okay, but it would be a challenge for me, I'm sure. Uh, it's one of those things. I'm sure I could do it, but I can't say I've done it at all before. Probably all I'd have to do is, well, let me show you this. I mean, this is not mechanical, but this is sort of the most hard surface things I had was on this image. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing hard surface about that. But even this one, if you look at the mace, I was having a hard time drawing that mace. So I did a quick 3D model of that mace and then traced over it. So I cheated. But if you're considering a commission, um, and I took it on, which I'd be happy to take it on, then of course I would do like a pencil sketch and you would approve or not approve at that point. And there's no charge to do a pencil sketch to get to a point when you're like, when you know you're going to be happy or know it's way off the mark. I'm not a real stickler for that. If you're not happy with it, yeah. I always make it right for the customer. Yeah, I'm looking at your comment about every 5 minutes there's a problem with people's websites. The last thing that drove me crazy is, when I host a customer's website on the server that I lease, they get email. And I always assumed that the email was a dedicated email server. and realized the hard way that no, they're getting a shell that's creating the email capability on the server. It's not a dedicated email server. And so there's all kind of technical issues with this one customer and her email. And I spent so many hours trying to fix it, and I got to the point where I couldn't do it. And I had to tell the customers, like, I'm sorry, it's beyond me, I can't do it. She's all like, well, who do I get to do it? And I go, it's not fixable. Part of the issue was the way she spammed her emails, but she was still having horrible issues on getting her emails seen by the people she needed them to see it. So, and that's kind of what broke me. I'm like, I am so done doing this crap. Yeah. Yeah, I used to love. I'm so now about making 3D model and then tracing my own work. Yeah, I don't mean it's true cheating, but in my heart, I'd love to be able to do everything freehand. But on the other hand, I have no problems at all utilizing every tool I've got in my toolbox. So I'm not a purist, although I would love to be able to draw this mace as well as it looks by hand. But that's all right. I don't care in the end. I have, here, I'll show you a comic page. So I stole the design of this starship. You can see it online. It's showing that potential warp ship. But I created this 3D model of this ship because there's no way I'd be able to draw that by hand because I just can't do it. So I created a 3D model of this ship, positioned it and placed it on the paper, and then started penciling over the 3D model. So yeah, I'm not against using 3D as a resource tool at all. Yeah, and I gotta apologize for that. I don't really try to put myself down, but I know it comes across that way, and I think people are getting annoyed with that. I think my trying to be humble is coming across too strong as putting myself down. Yeah, so that's that used 3D. Yeah, it's fun, and I've been using Blender a little bit, so I like the renderer that SketchUp would use because you could do buildings, it would do just the outlines of the buildings. I wish Blender had that kind of render ability. Yeah, hold on, my wife got home. Say hello to her back. All right, I'm back. Where did I even start with that? I don't remember. Yeah, a lot of these things are just primitive shapes. That's just a flattened circle, I believe. Or I may have done the profile and then revolved it. And then the body itself, it just sort of a rounded cylinder. It's probably this object placed right here. Because I don't know if you can tell, but there's these light blue lines here. And that's the 3D model itself. Like you see this blue line here, that blue line there. And so I used those as guides, and some I drew on, some I didn't. But kind of gives an idea of what shapes I had. So like this one was just a tube, basically. And so the details I've got on there are just hand drawn. They're not modeled at all. I just had a basic tube be the baseline for me. And then I still drew the details by hand. So the model itself would be very basic compared to what you're seeing here. Yeah, it's fun. I love 3D models. Just seeing the contour lines of the 3D models. Love that stuff. Okay. As Galdir. As Galdir. Thank you for that follow. Welcome aboard. Thank you. Chime in if you have any questions. Today I'm drawing a Jabberwocky, or a Jabberwock. Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy with that foot. Took me like 3 or 4 times to get there, but I like it. It definitely captures what I wanted. Something kind of creepy. Not quite a chicken foot, of course, but similar. Yeah. Raptor chicken nest. That was a really long toe, but that's alright. Hey, thanks very much. It's honestly been so long since I've gotten a donation, I didn't even know what that sound was. Thank you. I appreciate that. Look forward to learning more about your map making and stuff in the future, too. Glad that link worked. I haven't checked it in so long. Just like Arnie. All right. Well, thank you for spending your time with me. I mean, everyone's time is valuable, so I appreciate you, hanging out with me. And if you got any more questions, come on by or contact me with direct message or whispers or whatever. And I'm no art instructor, but I can at least tell you what I do. So have a great night. Good night. Good night. anyone can hear me, I'm going to go on break and be back in a few hours. Got some stuff around the house I'm going to do.